And we're not even in retrograde yet.
We look to the heavens for hope, guidance in a world of uncertainty. Within our universe, a mighty star shines bright over us and reflects itself to enlighten our darkness. It is from that star that our very molecules are born, boundless and bright. That mighty star commands a universe of stars that bear witness to our history and are attached to our ideas of the future. In these stars, we find our beginnings. In these stars, we learn of our endings.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of In the Stars with Dwayne. And that's right, I'm Dwayne. And the stars are up there. Every time you look up at night, you will check out what those stars are doing. And that made people 3,000 years ago think, hey, there must be something to that. And today, we're all kind of working with that. And actually, astrology is coming back in a huge way. I don't know if you guys know it, but little kids like 10, 12 years old are talking about their signs and things like that. So it's a huge thing. It's like the 70s all over again. But it's not. It's 2023 and we're in the middle of April right now. So we've gotten through this Aries part of life. And Aries, as I said in the last episode, is all about getting stuff done, not taking no for an answer, that fiery kind of desire to get stuff knocked out. And I totally have been in that for this whole month. In fact, last weekend, which was Easter, I was cutting down trees. I was moving things, cooking, doing everything you could imagine. And I thought to myself, wow, this is totally Aries. So let's find out what's going on in the stars right now. Now, right now, Mercury is in Taurus. And the thing that you always hear is Mercury in retrograde, Mercury in retrograde. Well, what does that mean? Well, what Mercury in retrograde means is that because Mercury is in like an orbit around the Earth and the Sun, and it goes faster than those two items, at some point when it gets to a part of the orbit, when we look at it from Earth, it looks like it's going backwards. So that's retrograde. And when that happens, Mercury being the planet of communication, uh, that's when things having to do with communication can get all messed up. Your phone calls get dropped, your internet connections fall. So many different things are connected to that. So if you ever wondered what Mercury in retrograde is about, that's what it is. So it goes into retrograde on April 21st in Taurus. Now, Taurus is the sign of home life, domesticity, but also partying. It's kind of like a trying to balance things. And it's the stubborn sign. You guys know the bullheaded Tauruses. I'm sure everybody knows one. I know a lot of them. For some reason, I have a lot of Tauruses in my life. And they're great people. They love to have a good time. They love their families. They love to make things. A lot of the Tauruses I know are great with food items for some reason. I have a friend named Bridget who's a Taurus, and she makes the most amazing meat and cheese boards that you've ever seen. And when she sets up for a party, and that is so Taurus. So keep that in mind. It's the planet of communication in the time of Taurus. And so you've got communication, home. So maybe things get a little weird at home and you're not speaking or you're having communication issues. Blame it on retrograde. You have about a few weeks until that changes. Then Venus is in Gemini. So Venus is the planet of love. Gemini is a communication planet ruled by that Mercury that we were just talking about. So that means that Geminis are feeling lots of love right now. You guys are feeling like it's time for me to either settle down with somebody or to have a relationship if you're not in one. If you're in a relationship, you might find that you're starting to really appreciate it a lot more than maybe you did last month when you thought maybe things needed to get done in order to make this relationship happen. Next, we have Mars in Cancer. Mars is the planet of war. It's that Aries planet. And Cancer is all about emotion, feeling it's the moon. So things can get, for you Aries out there, it can get a little bit, right now, a little bit mixed up in the world of emotion. So, have a few drinks. I don't know, chill out, Aries. Okay, you've done enough this month. And like I said, I've done enough in your sign, so I'm over it. Not really, I'm just kidding. Anyway, Jupiter is in Aries, and that means that things still are going to be getting done, but maybe new things are happening. New adventures are taking place that it just needed that little step to take that little step. So if you're one of those people who's like, I know exactly what needs to get done and I know what I want, but I just haven't done anything about it. Now is the time to put forward that step. Stop being lazy. Get things done. We only have a short time on this planet. It's very relative. Even if you live 150 years, that's still relatively a blip in time. So get it done. All right. Okay. I know you guys need that little push. So that's why I'm going, to that place. All right. Saturn in Pisces. This is a place of intuition and artistic endeavors, things like that. So you Sagittarians out there, if you have been waiting for that kick in the ass that you need to get stuff done, to make that creative endeavor that you want to happen, now is the time to start putting that into motion. You probably already have, being in Aries. Then we're going into Taurus, and that's why you're going to start to see that connection to home, that connection to beauty, all of that comes into play with your adventurousness. Now, Uranus, whoever's Anus, it's going to be in Taurus. And that means that there can be a lot of stuff going around when it comes to things that you owe, things, bills, stuff like that. I know you don't want to hear that, but I just wanted to let you know that that's all normal. So when all the stuff's coming at you, just let it go. Don't get upset. Let it go. Put the mail in a pile until Uranus gets out of Taurus, okay? um, and then Pluto is going to be, oh, wait, I'm sorry, Neptune. Neptune is in Pisces as well. So we've got this play of all kinds of stuff happening. When it comes to your plans for your home, plans for your what you want in the far future. So let's say you just started a business. You might think, I really want this business, the 5-year plan kind of thing. That is a great place to start creating that when Neptune is in Pisces. Start to create those 5-10 year plans, and you'll be able to see them really clearly. And then we get Pluto in Aquarius. Aquarius is another communication sign. It's an air sign. It's about modernity and the future and future thinking. And so we want to think about that even further. So I was talking about Neptune being that 5 to 10 year plan. Um, Aquarius is going to be about how to make that and to do it in a different way, and how to make, so maybe you, I don't know, I have no idea how to explain this other than, if you have a 5 to 10 year plan for your business, and you know that there's a simple and traditional way to kind of get to that plan, Aquarius says, no, don't do it the traditional way. Think of a new way to do it. Be innovative. So innovation is part of Aquarius. So think about that. Think maybe not taking the traditional steps to get somewhere, but taking the outsider kind of approach to getting somewhere on that plane of existence. All right. So what else can I tell you? The first thing is that when we get into Taurus in the next couple of weeks, you're going to notice that, of course, things are going to be nicer out. It's going to be that kind of like time to get rid of all your old crap and redecorate and all that kind of stuff. That's what Taurus is about. What are the downsides of Taurus? Well, one of the downsides you could say is that stubbornness, that, like, not willing to see another side and all that. But remember that that's only temporary. The Tauruses will think about, because they'll remember everything you say. If you give a Taurus an idea for something and they don't necessarily want to use that idea, they'll act like they've ignored it, but they will think about it. And who knows, a couple hours, a couple days, a couple months down the line, they may actually use that information and go with that idea. So it's not like this wall that's up for the rest of time. It's just like a bull. Think about a bull. You know, if you tell a bull, come over here, the bull doesn't care. It wants to kill you. It wants to stick its horn through you. But maybe if you move out of its way and you let it calm down a little bit, it will go that way and you don't have to die. That's what I'm talking about. So the Tauruses are just, they're stubborn, but it's not a constant thing. What are the power colors of Taurus? It's orange and blue. And, you know, if you look that up, like if you go right now and Google what are the power colors of Taurus, you're going to get all kinds of stuff. I mean, pink comes up because it's the planet of Venus, planet of beauty, and all that kind of stuff, just like Libra. But in my experience, and what I've decided is that orange and blue are the colors, power colors of Taurus. That means, what are power colors? It doesn't mean it's your favorite color if you're a Taurus, because I know I'll say that, oh, that's your power color. People say, that's not my favorite color. My favorite color. Nah. It's not about your favorite color. It's your power color. So if you wear these colors, gives you power. If you go to an audition or an interview and you want to have power, you want to have that feeling of, you know, and you're a Taurus, try wearing orange and blue together and we'll see what happens. Okay. You don't have to believe me. Try it. I'm just telling you to try it. Look at me. I'm acting like you're sitting here telling me no. I'm thinking like you guys as the viewer are the Taurus and you're like, no, 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 no. But I know that you will think about it and you will figure out that I'm right. Anyway, the other thing to keep in mind is that when we go through Aries, okay, we get through it, you know, which is the next week or so. Depending on when you're watching this, you could be watching this in October, but this information will still be valid. We go from Aries, which is that sign of get things done, you know, follow the plan, follow the steps, do that stuff, into this home life, also having a fun time, balancing partying with the necessary things of life, perfection, all of these types of things. So think about what that move is. It goes from this excited, crazy energy to doing things and following lists to like, I want to enjoy my life. I want to have a good time. I want my home to be beautiful. I want to have parties. I want to have people over. That's the kind of move. And, you know, normally we would think, of course, that's because of the weather and all of that kind of stuff. But who knows? Like I always say, astrology is not the end all and be all. It's an art, for Christ's sake. So if I tell you I like the colors blue and red and I paint it on a canvas, you can like it or dislike it. I don't care. But it's there and it's art. Same thing with astrology. It's art, and it does have some basis in what I believe is physical science, because if the moon controls the oceans and the tides of the oceans, then how could that not have an effect on us? But anyway, I digress. The reality of it is that it's just fun and interesting, and a fun thing that we have coming up from In the Stars with Dwayne, which if you've watched us since episode 1, and you've learned about all this stuff, you may have heard that I have a fragrance company, and it's called 1020. And I came up with it as a, you know, in honor of my mother who passed in January. We've decided to come up with a line for In the Stars. And so right now I'm working on these fragrances for all of the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water. And so whatever your sign is, you fall into one of those categories, one of those elements. So for instance, if you are a Sagittarius, a Leo, or an Aries, you're a fire sign. If you are an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Gemini, you're an air sign. If you're a Scorpio, a Pisces, or a Cancer, you're a water sign. And if you're a Virgo, a Taurus, or a Capricorn, you are an earth sign. And so we're going to have a fragrance for each of those signs. So keep an eye out for those. I don't know how long it's going to take, because again, that's an art as well, trying to figure out what fragrances work together. But I'm thinking that the fires are going to be very fiery, with warm essential oil blends and things like cinnamon and chocolate and these kinds of things. With the air, it might be more things like grass and rain and those types of those types of things. But remember that when I do fragrances, I do so many ingredients that there's no way anybody can copy them. So if you want to try, you can go ahead. But like Louis Vuitton, you might make a fake bag, but it's not exactly the same as the Louis Vuitton ones. Anyway, so much has been going on this year. We're getting to the beginning or the middle of the year. And actually, if you look at globally what's been happening in the world, and compare it to the astrological cycle of things, think about the war in Ukraine and what's happened over the last month during Aries, which is the sign of war. The negotiations that have happened, the problems, the issues, the strategies. It's very interesting. Globally, there's a lot going on that we don't in the US even ever hear about. So imagine globally what could be kind of related to that. But again, I'm not saying that everything that happens in the world is based on how the planets are moving. I'm just saying that they have a bit of an influence there, you know. Let's talk a little bit about what happens when you do your full chart. People sometimes don't realize that you have a full chart. If you're just joining us, you may not know that, even if you are a Taurus or an Aries or whatever, that's just your sun sign, that you have 9 planets, a rising, a moon, all that were in a specific place in the solar system when you were born. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but you might want to Google, check out what our solar system actually looks like in space as opposed to what we think. So if I can explain it well enough, which I think I can, we believe that the solar system is like this big circle, and within this circle are concentric circles that contain planets in orbit around the sun. But when you look at how the solar system really is, on this video, which I'm sure if you Google reality of solar system based on how we think of it, something like that, you'll see that the solar system is hurtling through space. The moon, the sun, all of us going around the sun is hurtling through space. It's not just sitting somewhere in the middle of something. We are actually moving forward. So imagine, the physical effects of how moving forward, things going around. It's kind of amazing. And then if you look at that on a micro level, I mean, that's like inside of our bodies. Every cell is like a little solar system. So it's kind of wild. I may have taken a gummy. Who knows? And this is all coming to me. But if you are interested in this kind of stuff, that's one of the things that I think that's so interesting about astrology, is that it leads to so many different things because everything is covered. Communication, home life, all of that stuff. So even if you're just starting to look into astrology and you think about, oh, what's my career path? Well, maybe you wouldn't have had that same thought had you not looked up your sign or your chart or what have you. So it's a great thing. And also I tell people, some people don't think that astrology has any practicality to it, but I mean, it's a great conversation starter. It's something that doesn't have to do with sex, politics, religion. So you can talk about it openly and people don't get, all up in arms about it. So I think astrology has a lot of merits that sometimes people don't give enough credit to. But I'm here to do that on In the Stars with Dwayne. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. I am. It's been really interesting. I've actually learned a lot about astrology that I didn't realize before, and about how the planets and stuff move. For example, that one thing about the solar system, I always thought we were just hanging there in space, Now that I know that we're moving through this infinite black space, it's kind of like, wow, where are we? Where are we going? What's going on? So, stay tuned for the fragrances which are coming up. We will be back in 2 weeks in the center of, or actually the beginning of Taurus. And so I'll be letting you guys know a lot more detail about the sign Taurus. And between now and then, if you are an Aries or a Taurus, good luck with that shift. You're going to really, I think, enjoy that shift from doing so much, dealing with so much, to having a just much more enjoyable time. Because honestly, life is so short. Why worry about anything or do anything you don't like? Just do everything you like, have a great time, and watch In the Stars with Dwayne. Thanks, you guys, for watching. See you next time, and keep looking up.